Okay, guys. Um, I think we're all here. I think we're live. Listen, welcome to today's business breakthrough episode. We're going to do something a little bit different, right, to what we've been doing before, where we've been actually showing you some strategies and tactics. But listen, what I want to do right now in today's episode is actually walk you through a planning methodology. It's the end of the month, right? And planning's not exactly the sexiest thing that we like to work on, but it's essential, right? And there's a lot of different planning methodologies out there that people use. So I thought I would share with you the one that Angela and I typically do, right? At least walk you through that methodology. By the way, the worksheets for this are actually you should actually have them in the Facebook group, right? So if you want to go just click it, pull it down, download it, print it, right? You've got a minute or so. But yeah, we thought it might be kind of good for you guys to see a little bit about how we go through what we do, right, to plan for the next 30 days. Now, I will tell you that historically, we usually work on a 90-day plan, right? And what we found was, especially during like COVID, was that the like 90 days really seemed to be a little bit too far out, right? Because there was a lot of things happening. There were changes that were happening in the environment and the market that we wanted to be able to adapt to. So rather than working on a 90-day plan, and I'm sure we'll get back to doing that at some point, we decided to actually just contract and say, okay, the next 30 days, like, what is it we need to be doing? What do we need to be work on based on where the environment is right now? So that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through this, pull down the worksheet. So if you're watching this live, by the way, just put live in the comments. That would be awesome. Just let us know you're here and let us know who you are. Right, we're doing this through Restream, so I don't actually know who you are if you post a comment. So put your name in there, and I can say hi. If you're watching the replay, fine, put replay in the comments as well. And if you have any questions about this, then just pump them in there, and we'll answer them at some point. So let me share what I got. Love it when the technology works. It's so cool. Let me kind of walk you through how this works. We were actually shown this by one of our coaches a couple of years back, and it just works really, really well. So we've continued to use it, and it's a planning pyramid, right? So hierarchical versus linear, right? Which is a little bit different to how most people normally do this. But I think that probably one of the big things that people tend to miss when they're doing planning is what they actually start with, right? What is it they're trying to accomplish over this set period of time? And what tends to happen is you either lose focus, right? Or you're not driving yourself towards something that's really tangible. Right. So it's great to have a to-do list. It's awesome to be able to go, yeah, here's some things we have to get done. But what we recommend is you actually start off with, look, what is the goal financially? Like the financial goal, and by the way, if you're a new coach or a new business and you're doing this and you think, James, I don't have any clients yet, that's okay, right? It's okay. But it's much easier to get your head in the game if you're driving towards a financial outcome, right? Then it doesn't matter what that financial outcome is at all, so long as it's an outcome that meets what you're trying to achieve, right? It's in line with you. So no one else is going to see this, guys, right? Except you, or unless you want to share it, which again, totally fine, right? Feel free to share if you want. But the methodology in doing this is all about starting big. Start with a big financial goal and then driving that right down to what is it that I need to deliver, right? What's my deliverables in the business? So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to walk you through the methodology and show you kind of some of the things that you want to be thinking about. and then you guys can bugger off and, you know, go do your own, right? And at least start to get yourself focused. So, for instance, let's say that our financial goal in the next 30 days was to generate 30K, right? That's our financial goal. Super easy, right? It's just a number. But it's a number that also leads into, our longer term goal. And hi Mark, thanks for how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. So it's part of our longer term annual financial goal, but we break it down into monthly goals, and so 30K is our financial goal. The next thing to understand under your financial goal is, how is that goal going to get made up? Like, what are the things that we have to sell in order to get to that number? Now, look, I'm a massive proponent of having one core offer, like having one product, especially in the coaching consulting business, and especially if you're just starting out. You don't want to complicate life by having too many things that you're trying to sell. What we want to do is to focus on one core offer or one core product where possible. If you've got more than one and you're already in the game, right, and you've already got a system and a methodology for getting the products into the market, then fine, knock yourself out, right? But it is important to understand, what is it that I need to be selling in order to meet that number? So again, I'm going to give you hypotheticals, guys, right? You put in there whatever meets your needs, whatever is good for you. But for us, right, I could easily look at this and say, well, okay, we have, our Accelerate program, right, which is $5,000, right? So I could easily look at that and say, okay, I'm going to go and sell 4 Accelerates at 5K, right? So that's getting me up to at least 20K of my number. I might then say, well, okay, what else, right? We have multiple product streams. So 3 different programs, right? So I've also got a group program that we sell, right? That we sell for 3K. So I might go, okay, I could also do 2 of the group coaching program, right? And that's 3K. So now I'm up to 26, right? So I've got a 4,000 delta. That's easy. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell 4 academies, and they're $1,000. All right, I'm going to look at that. So there's 4K. So now what I've done is I've figured out, here's my 30K. So that's it. That's my product or service mix. That's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I'm going to look to sell. Here's the thing. It very rarely, if ever, works out like that, right? The mix doesn't always kind of work out the way we intend it, but we're going into the month and saying, well, okay, if we're going to meet our number, this is how we can do it, right? This is one of the ways we can do it. Typically, usually, most of the time, that mix is definitely going to vary, guys, right? So don't worry about it. The intent is go into the month saying, this is where we're going, right? This is what we really need to do. And if the mix changes, hi, Madhavi, if the mix changes somewhere in there, then that's okay, right? That's perfectly fine. So first stage is, hey, what does the mix have to look like in order for me to get to my number? And that's what we're going to focus on, okay? So now we understand product and mix, guys. The next thing is, well, okay, that sounds awesome, James, but it's still just a number, right? We don't really have anything behind it. So the next is to understand, what is it that I'm going to need to do? So over the next 30 days, in order for me to meet this number, what is it that I need to be doing? So we have a pretty good grasp of what our conversion numbers look like. So, we typically convert anything between 60 to 70% in terms of when we have a strategy call or a brainstorming call. We know what our percentage of conversions looks like, right? We've worked really hard to nail that down. So for me, I can look at this and go, well, all right, I can probably get to that number usually between 20 to 25 enrollment calls. That's what I've got to get. So some way, somehow, I've got to go generate that number of conversations in order to generate the number. Right. Now, again, looking at the mix, not all of this requires a call. Not all of these products require me spending time on the phone. Right. But when I look at the whole thing together, if I say, okay, I want to generate 20 to 25 calls, even if I need less at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I know that this is what I'm driving towards. The other thing what I want to do is, look, I might want to go and find maybe 3 opportunities to talk. Now, I don't really need an opportunity to talk, right? Every opportunity I get is a chance for James to talk. But we might want to go look at very specific places where we can deliver our signature presentation. It could be a webinar. It could be an online workshop. It really doesn't matter, right? But we need to find opportunities, whether it's us doing it ourselves or externally, for us to get in front of an audience where in that audience our ideal client is sitting. So that's going to be big, right? So in the next month, I've got to find 3 ops. The next thing I want to do is I definitely want to go and look at how we can activate our network. Now, you guys who are in our Accelerate program should know this is a big deal, right? If you're starting out, if you're still trying to get your first handful of clients, your clients are sitting inside your network. They're not sitting in Facebook. They're not sitting with Facebook ads or posting on Instagram or any of that BS stuff. They're literally sitting inside your own network. Your job is to figure out how to get them to put their hand up and go, hey, you're talking about me. I have that problem. Looks like you have a solution. Let's have a conversation. But they're inside your network. So every month, we're looking at more and more ways that we can get in front of the network and activate it so that people can put their hand up. And that's whether it's through our Facebook group, whether it's through our email list, or just people that we know through LinkedIn, whatever it might be. We have to figure out ways of how do we get them to put their hand up, right? So that's maybe the third thing we'll look at. And then we might say, cool, what, let's kind of reach out to maybe 4 champions or partners. And honestly, this is something that we haven't done a great job on because we really haven't had to. But I think it's something that should be part of your 30-day plan every 30 days. Just reaching out, figuring out who people are that are in your network who can either get you in front of the right people, right, or can introduce you to the right people, or who may want to create some kind of JV partnership where you're maybe a revenue share, whatever it might be, right? But it's much easier. There's a lot of people out there, guys, who are already working with the people that you want to work with, but don't compete with you. And part of the secret of growing your business and doing it, I'm going to say fairly rapidly, is to have those discussions show enough value that they're prepared to put you in front of their peeps, right? So for the needs, I may say, okay, in the next 30 days, here's like the 4 big things. Now, you got to understand that we're only talking about 30 days, guys. We're not talking 90 days. So as you go through this process, my guidance is going to be, don't try and pack in too much, right? Don't try and pick up like 15 things that you've got to get done in the next 30 days because you're going to be a week in. You're going to say, I've only done 2 or 3, and you've already put yourself in a mindset as, I'm not going to make this, I can't make this happen in 30 days. So I'm just going to tell you, like 2 or 3 really nice, cool, big things that you can execute on is much better than having 15 things that you end up either partially getting done on some of them or getting nothing done on any of them. Make sense? So from a needs standpoint, from a needs standpoint, we just want to make sure that we've got all our needs captured. This is the big things that we're going to have to do. Now, that's all wonderful. Once we've got through the needs, then we've got to start really digging in and figuring out what's my deliverable, right? What's my deliverable? So if, for instance, I want to reach out to 4 champions, 4 partners, people that can help, I'm probably going to want to build a list. Like, I'm probably going to want to put a list of people together before I start doing my outreach, right? So that's going to be a deliverable. So I'm going to say, hey, first thing I want to do, put together my list of champions, right? So now we're getting into the kind of tactics and the tasks that you're going to have to work on. If I want to go and do talks, right? If I want to figure out 3 opportunities to go and talk, then I might want to do some research, right? Who is out there? And I apologize for the writing. It is terrible. So I might go and research some speaking opportunities. I might go have some conversations. If people are doing, maybe someone's got a podcast, or if there's an event going on, right? We might do some outreach, say, hey, listen, is there an opportunity for us to come in and create some value for you in your organization or you and your community? All right. The next thing I want to do is, if I'm going to be doing these talks, I might, if I don't have it already, but I might need to actually go finalize my signature talk. Now, we're big on this, right? If you are in the coaching and consulting world, you got to have a signature presentation. You need to have something that you can deliver in an hour. You also have to have something that you can deliver in an hour, but also deliver it in 15 minutes, meaning you can pull out the salient parts and deliver it in a 15, 20 minute, almost TED Talk type scenario. Right? So you want to have your signature talk, whether that's done on a webinar, on stage in front of a live audience, it doesn't matter, right? You need to have something that you can deliver to an audience that talks to the problem that they have and the solution that you have, and then walk them through, the context, the content, and the close. So if I haven't got one, I'm going to have to build one. Now, luckily, we have like several. So for me, typically when we're doing anything in a month, a webinar, it may be a webinar we've done before, or it may be a webinar I need to tweak just simply because of the environment, right? Maybe new things are coming up. We're getting new information. We're seeing different challenges. So we're always looking at what is the nuance of the market, and does our signature talk need to be changed? And usually it does, right? A signature talk isn't going to last forever. So you want to be in touch with what are the changes and what do I need to change. Here's another one we might want to do as a deliverable, right? So remember, right, we're activating our network as part of a need. So I want to go out and I want to connect. So maybe what I want to do is connect with 5 people a day inside my network. Outreach. How are you doing? What's going on, right? Is there anything you're challenged with? Whatever that conversation is, and however we start that conversation, right, we have to make a point of saying there's 5 people. So for Angela and I, that can work out really well, right? Because we do have, to some degree, different networks. So we can double up. So we can do 10 a day, 5 each. That's a lot of people getting connected with. And there's definitely a whole strategy to doing this that we work through in the Accelerate program. But just knowing that that becomes a deliverable helps you at least get it into your calendar, which is obviously the next state, right? That's the next thing, is understand, like, what do these deliverables look like, and then starting to get them into your calendar so that you can actually execute against them, right? So what else might have to happen in this? Research. Oh, here's a good one, right? If it hasn't been done already. you might want to develop a pitch to your champions. Whoops. What do I mean by that? Reaching out to a potential champion or a referral partner isn't just like picking up the phone and saying, hey, do you want to do this thing? Right? Champions and partners are great to have, but they do take a little time to, let's just call it gestate, right? That they're not just going to happen overnight. People are definitely, even if they know you guys, they're still going to have to build up a level of trust before they're going to put you in front of their audience. Because remember, whatever you do reflects back on them. The reason we are reaching out to them is because we want to utilize that trust they've already generated with their audience and have that transfer to us. But we need to make sure that when we make the initial conversation that we've got a pitch, right? We understand what it is we believe we can bring to the party, how we can help them, right? And how in turn, what we do, how that's going to help generate more trust for their audience for them. So developing your pitch to a champion or a referral partner might be something that is a deliverable in this next 30 days, right? So this is awesome. Now, again, it's only 30 days. It's not 90 days. It's only 30 days. So what we don't want to do again in terms of deliverables is stack these things up in a way that we're just never going to get through them, right? Business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I mean, it can be a sprint, right? Sometimes it's a sprint, but generally it's a marathon, right? So just, we need to be okay with the fact that we're not going to throw a touchdown into the end zone, from 80 yards, right? We're going to make incremental yardage gains, 3 yards, 5 yards. I know it's a football analogy, and yeah. We're not throwing a Hail Mary, right? We're just making incremental changes or incremental yardage gains to get to the end zone. So don't try and go for the whole thing all at once. You got time, right? You got time. So that's the pyramid, right? This is how we set our game plan every 30 days. Now, the next part of this, and I'm not going to spend time going through this and filling it in, but if I know what my deliverables are, and let's say I've got 4 big deliverables, then what I want to do is to take these deliverables and just break them down into tasks, right? What do I need to, because some of these deliverables are going to have multiple moving parts, right? It's going to have multiple moving parts. There's just certain things I've got to go do. Build my list, create the email, blah, 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 right? Whatever that is. If it's a signature talk, right? I might want to go in. I might want to go through the talk I've got already, figure out what I need to change, then set time aside to make the changes, then set time aside again to actually do a dry run. You get my point, I hope. So each of your deliverables, you want to go break down just into some tasks, right? What are the 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5 tasks that I need to do in order to create that deliverable, make that deliverable happen? All of these ones done are all going to find their way into your calendar, right? And that's what they're going to do. If they're not in your calendar, guys, then they're not real, right? They're not real. So one of the big things that we advise is you need to start booking time with yourself. The way that we do this is that we do this in sprints. And to give you an example of what a sprint looks like, if I have tasks, right, and this is my week, right? It's my week. There's only 5 of them because I don't work on the weekend. But there's, right? I've got morning, I've got lunch, I've got afternoon, I've got tea time, and I've got evening, right? What I would tend to do, say, okay, in the morning, I'm carving out 45 minutes to do one task related to deliverable number 1. Then in the afternoon, I'm going to do another 45 minutes. Might be related to the same task and the same deliverable, right? And then I'm going to break out another 45 minutes to do a task that might be related to deliverable number 3. And I will do that for the whole week. I'm just going to break out 45 minutes, and that's in that 45 minutes, the phone is off, the email is off, and that's the only thing we work on. Right? Typically, I'm going to set a timer, and the timer is going to be set for 45 minutes. And in 45 minutes, regardless of where I am in that task, boom, I stop. Then I take a 15-minute break. Then I go work on something else in the business. And then if I've got another 45 minutes already allocated, I restart and I go again. It is not the volume of work that is important, right? It's the value of the work that you are doing that is important. So don't get caught up in, well, I've just got to keep doing. You absolutely do not, right? There's this expression that says something about like smooth is fast, right? So it's not like piling things in. And I can't impress upon you guys enough, right? I can't impress upon you guys enough, right? It's not about the volume of work that you're doing, guys. It's the value of the work that you're doing. And if you really want to make progress, work this methodology, create your sprints each day, and just work on the highest value items in those sprints. And then the rest of the day is just done managing your business, whatever that is for you. All right. So that is how we do the planning. So what I would suggest to you is download the sheets, watch this again, fill it in based on your particular business, right? In terms of your financial goal, what your product services are, and what you think you can deliver to meet that goal in the next 30 days. Figure out what you need to get done in order to create or sell that product or service to meet your number. Excuse me. And then figure out the deliverable, right? If that's what I need to get done, then what are the individual pieces of that I need to go focus on? You do that every 30 days. You will make astounding progress. I swear, right? The best list that we ever created was the do not do list. And just getting focused on the highest value things to meet the goal, right? That's going to give you so much time back. But this, I think, is a really nice methodology, and it's really pretty simple, right? But, and this is a big piece, you got to get your shit in the calendar. You got to get it into your schedule. You got to plan time with yourself. You got to schedule time with yourself. All right. And if you can do it, build in 2 or 3 sprints daily to work on the highest value things. That's how you're going to make progress. So hopefully, do this. Hopefully you guys found this valuable. A little bit longer than we normally do, but it's a planning thing, right? So I would suggest to you that you go ahead, do it. If you have questions, just stick it in the group and I'll come back and answer them. But yeah, it's I hate to keep saying this, but it is not the sexiest things that make the money, right? It's typically the non-sexy stuff that actually creates the most value in your business, right? Which is why we focus on foundation and core forum. We don't talk about Facebook ads or TikTok or Instagram or all the fancy funnels and all this kind of shit, right? It's like, no, get your niche, get your message, get your blue ocean, build your model, create your offer, activate your network, and have a really simple funnel to get people to put their hands up. Boom, that's it, right? You can build a really nice business once that's all in place. So guys, thanks so much. thanks for tuning in. If you're live, again, if you're live, see you live. If you're on a replay, see a replay, and we'll know how you got here and where you got here from. And yeah, if you have any questions, ask. The downloads in the thing. Brain dead already. You can get the download in this page. Just scroll, you'll see it, right? We were actually telling you about the event, and the link is in there. So go knock yourselves out. All right, kids. Talk soon. Thanks so much. And we'll see you very soon. Have a great day, guys.